Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Neeraj Dwivedi from TERI, the Energy and Resources Institute, New Delhi. Today we are going to discuss about a module enhancing the nutritional quality under paper plant biotechnology and crop improvement. In this module, we are intended to give knowledge to students about biofortification, that is enhancing the nutritional quality of crop plants. Most of the population depends on staple food, but if that staple food is sufficient to provide the entire nutritional requirement, then it will help the growing population a lot. Therefore, in this module, I will give you the brief knowledge about nutritional requirements, their significance, biofortification studies, success stories, and future directions. Hidden hunger. In the developing world, 840 million people are chronically undernourished. Many more people, perhaps half of the world's population, suffer from disease caused by dietary deficiencies and inadequate supplies of vitamins and minerals. Despite the prevalence of hunger and malnutrition, global food production has outpaced population growth over the last 40 years, thanks mainly to the success of Green Revolution. So, lack of critical micronutrients in the diets, there are few micronutrients which are very essential for our development and uh, overcome from the deficiency, which is iron, amino acids, vitamin A, and lipids. So millions could be saved if only GM technology could be helped tackle both poverty and health problems facing developing countries. If only those who oppose GM crops would relax their stance and weigh up the technology cost and benefits. Enhancement of amino acid and protein. So in this section, we will talk about how we can enhance amino acids into our crops. So both human and animals can't synthesize all the essential amino acids which are required for their biological activities. So they need to depend on crop plants. In developed countries, humans are able to fulfill the dietary protein from farm animals. But there are developing countries where people depends on single cereal crops for their livelihood. In this case, the protein is important factor which need to be improved. There are 10 amino acids which are essential, that is lysine, isoleucine, leucine, phenylalanine, tyrosine, threonine, tryptophan, valine, histidine, and methionine. Cysteine is also important as it is synthesized from methionine. Among the essential amino acids, lysine, tryptophan, and methionine are the most limiting amino acid in the crop. Here in this slide, the different amino acid content is shown in major cereal crops. First column, all 10 amino acid has been listed. So here you can clearly see the most limiting amino acid, which are lysine, methionine, and tryptophan. So you can see that lysine content in wheat is 0.7 and 1.7, and in barley it is 0.8. So lysine content in all the major crops is very less, and with same with the methionine and tryptophan amino acids. So these three amino acids are the most limiting amino acids in the major vegetable crops. So in this slide, essential amino acid deficiency in some vegetarian foods has been shown. So in this slide, it is shown that in major vegetarian foods, which are the most limiting amino acids, or we can say these are the amino acids which cannot be fulfilled by consuming these vegetarian food crops. Like in cereals, lysine, threonine, and sometimes tryptophans are limiting. And in pulse crop, methionine and tryptophan are lacking. In nuts and oil seeds, lysine is lacking, and the green leafy vegetables and leaves and grasses, methionine amino acids are the most limiting amino acids. So, to overcome this problem or to fulfill the deficiency of lysine and tryptophan, a mutant which is named as OPEC2 was developed, and it is called quality protein maize. So it is an improved variety of maize which contain higher amount of lysine and tryptophan with lower amount of leucine and isoleucine in the endosperm than those contained in normal maize. To overcome this problem, quality protein maize has been developed. This QPM or quality protein maize was developed by Surinder Basal and Evangelina Villegas at the International Maize and Wheat Improvement Center, which is called as CIMMYT, in the late 1990s. As per its name, quality protein maize varieties contains nearly twice as much lysine and tryptophan amino acid that are essential for humans and monogastric animals. QPM is a product of conventional plant breeding, and it is not genetically modified and an example of biofortification study. Maize seeds have low lysine, so high lysine OPEC2 mutants were discovered, which had increased lysine, had normal endosperm texture. This was due to suppression of starchy phenotype by a modifier gene, but had low level of genes. In OPEC2 mutant contained 22 kilodalton genes, which was compensated by increasing another group of gene protein which contribute to modification of the starchy phenotype. QPM has yielded very positive result in China, Mexico, and parts of Central America. So, student, as you know that OPEC2 mutant has enhanced lysine and tryptophan amino acid content. It has some transcription factor that reduces alpha genes, thus increase in non-genes protein with balanced amino acid. And OPEC2 reduces the protein body matrix between starch granules in the endosperm. So you can see in this microscopic picture that a small protein body is reduced. So the size of protein body is reduced in the OPEC2 mutant. Improving lysine content by GM technology. As lysine is considered the most important essential amino acid, but lysine is limited in cereals, hence much genetic engineering research was devoted to increase lysine by understanding the regulation of lysine metabolism and its exploitation for increasing free lysine level in seeds and using protein that are enriched in lysine content. Synthesis of lysine by a branch of the ASP family pathway, which also leads to the synthesis of essential amino acids, namely methionine and threonine. Lysine synthesis has feedback inhibition, in which lysine inhibits the activity of dihydropicolinate synthesis DHDPS, that is the first enzyme especially committed to lysine biosynthesis. So many research have been done to produce mutant DHDPS, which is dihydropicolinate synthase gene in tobacco and Arabidopsis, which resulted in development of plants which had overproduction of lysine in all over the plant and caused abnormal plant growth, resulted reduced seed yield. Research has also been done by targeting the expression of bacterial lysine insensitive DHDPS to seeds of tobacco using a seed specific promoter. Seeds have increased lysine level but not yet nutritionally desirable level. Later on in 2002, scientists introduced hardothionein 1 and 2 and BHL8, which is Varley high lysine 8 protein, which contains 28% and 24% lysine content respectively. BHL8 is a recombinant protein which was derived from barley chymotrypsin inhibitor 2 that increase the number of lysine codons. These proteins accumulated in transgenic maize seeds to 3% to 6% of total grain protein, and when introduced together with a bacterial DHDPS resulted in an elevation of total lysine to over 0.7% of seed dry weight compared to the 0.2% in wild type maize. In another study, genetically modified maize with increased lysine, named as ALVY038, was developed by inserting a CORDAP-A gene from a common soil bacteria, Corynebacterium glutamicum. Recently, in 2003 and 2007, new approaches has been developed in rice, and by utilizing a recombinant tRNA lysine species that introduce lysine at alternative codons during protein synthesis, which enriches the lysine content of seed proteins. So in this slide, you can see the biosynthesis of threonine, methionine, and lysine. So in all higher plants, lysine, threonine, and methionine are synthesized from aspartic acid by a pathway that is highly branched and under complex feedback control. So in this pathway, you can see the glutamine is converted into glutamate, and in the presence of AAT enzyme, it converted into aspartate, and then in the presence of light, it converted into threonine, methionine, and lysine amino acids. So, student, in this slide, I'll discuss with you about improving methionine content by genetically modified technology. Methionine is also synthesized by another branch of ASP family pathway that also synthesize lysine. Methionine is not only building block but also produce as adenosylmethionine, which is SAM, which is a precursor for the hormone ethylene for paleamines, and it is also the primary methyl group donor for multiple biological processes such as DNA replication, cell wall development, and secondary metabolite production. So research focused on how to suppress SAM to synthesize increased level of soluble methionine. In Arabidopsis, research reveals that cristathionein G synthase is a regulatory enzyme of methionine biosynthesis whose activity is regulated by the level of SAM. SAM induces arrest of translation elongation, which precedes the formation of a degradation intermediate of CGS mRNA, thus a crucial control point of methionine synthesis. In 2003, Cox's et al. Showed that S-methyl methionine is synthesized from methionine S-methyl transferase enzyme, which is also recycled back to methionine by homocysteine methyl transferase. Methionine contains can also be increased by involving expression of sulfur-rich proteins. Researchers have found that natural methionine-rich storage protein is in 2S-albumin from Brazilian nut and sunflower, and these are transgenically expressed in seeds of a number of plant species, including tobacco, canola, Narbon bean, and soybean. In subsequently research, Malvin et al. Transferred sulfur rice gene from sunflower to lupin, which increased the methionine content, but cysteine content reduced. While in 2002, Tube and Dorex expressed the sunflower 2S-albumin in lupin and demonstrated that the seeds contain cysteine and methionine both. So student, here you can see the gene construct which is used for the enhancement of methionine level by expression of sunflower seed albumin gene transgenic in lupins. So you can see there is 3 chimeric genes, which is 35S UIDA, and reporter Gus gene is there, and VICSSA, this gene encoding the sunflower seed albumin, and phosphothreonine acyltransferase gene also present in the gene construct. So this gene construct is used for the enhancement of methionine content, enhancement of lipid. So omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acid such as eicosapentaenoic acid and docosahexaenoic acid is very essential for human health, which is basically present in marine fish. Seeing the concern of marine pollution, alternative strategies have been considered, developing the transgenic plant to produce these fish oils or omega-3. So higher plant lacks the capacity to synthesize VLC PUFAs, but few of them synthesize omega-6 linolenic acid and omega-3 stearidonic acid. Plants have to convert linolenic acid and A-linolenic acid to VLC-PUFA, which requires a minimum of 3 sequential non-native enzymatic reactions. Between 2000 to 2002, it was shown that VLC-PUFA pathway could function in transgenic yeast, but with low accumulation of arachidonic acid and eicosapentaenoic acid. More recently, in 2013, in Arabidopsis, soybean and canola, aerobic pathway was used to produce VLC-PUFA, and it is introduced by Ruiz Paz et al. In 2013. And in another study, which is carried out by Naomi Ruiz, she enhanced EPA by transferring different acyl CoA dependent desaturase, and even DHA was synthesized by transferring different combination of genes in Arabidopsis. The alternative is good, but the amount of VLC-PUFA which we get from transgenic plant is very less. So still, we need to study on additional rate limiting factors involving in these pathways. Now, student, I talk about vitamin fortification and why transgenic rice has been developed with enhanced provitamin A. So actually, milled rice is provitamin A free, and bad effect of provitamin A free diet is night blindness, xerophthalmia. It is fatal in susceptibility to childhood disease like measles, and general infection like diarrhea, respiratory diseases. So why rice? Why rice has been fortified with provitamin A? Because global staple food, and it is especially important in Asia. It is cultivated for over 10,000 years. Rice provide as much as 80% of or more of the daily caloric intake of 3 billion people, which is half the world population. And to provide provitamin A to third world, that is developing countries, where malnutrition and vitamin A deficiency is very common. So how this all begins? So I'm telling about beginning of Golden Rice project. So the scientific details of the rice were first published in Science, and the product of an 8-year project by Ingo Porticus of the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology and Peter Beer of the University of Freiburg. The Golden Rice Humanitarian Board encourages further research to determine how the technology may play a part in the ongoing global effort to fight bad in poor countries, which is vitamin deficiency. In this slide, I will talk about golden rice. So the first golden rice variety, which is GR1, it's Ingo Particus and his group developed a rice which is golden in color due to the presence of beta carotene through genetic engineering, known as golden rice. Biosynthetic pathway of provitamin A is a continuation of lycopene pathway. Immature rice endosperm is capable of synthesizing GGDP, which is geranyl diphosphate, but subsequent stage of pathway are not expressed in this tissue. The exogenous LYC gene has a transit peptide sequence attached, so it is targeted to the plastid, where geranyl diphosphate formation occurs. Golden rice 1, which is GR1, developed by transferring phytonin synthase PSY from daffodil and bacterial phytoandisaurate, which is CRT1, from Irivina rhodovora, which contains 1.6 microgram carotenoid. So how it works? Three genes need to be transformed in the rice genome to complete the biosynthetic pathway. So these three genes were phytonin synthase. This gene derived from daffodils fused to rice endosperm specific gluten, which is called GT1 promoter. And next is phytonin synthase, is a transferase enzyme involved in the biosynthesis of carotenoid. It catalyzes the conversion of geranyl pyrophosphate to phytonin. The three steps required to convert phytonin to beta carotene and phytonin to desaturase and carotene desaturase introduce double bonds to form lycopene and lycopene catalase to make beta carotene. So this whole system was introduced in the rice. It was not present in the rice. So this CRT1 gene was introduced in the rice. So this geranyl pyrophosphate can be converted into phytonin, and phytonin can be directly converted into beta carotene, which is provitamin A. Now we talk about golden rice 2, a new golden rice generation. Further work was done by Syngenta to optimize beta carotene production, showed that the daffodil phytonin synthesis was a rate limiting, and PSY gene from maize was much more effective, resulting in the greatest accumulation of total carotenoid and beta carotene. After trying with PSY genes from different sources, it turns out that the maize and rice genes gave the best result. In the process, golden rice lines were obtained that accumulated up to 37 microgram per gram carotenoid, of which 31 microgram per gram was beta carotene, as compared to the first generation golden rice. Original golden rice was called GR1, where only 1.6 microgram per gram were obtained. Transformation of rice with the construct PSYN 12424 resulted in a 23-fold increase in carotenoid compared with the original golden rice and has been named as a golden rice 2. To construct golden rice 2, the phytonin synthase gene from maize and the carotene desaturase gene CRT1 from Erivina iridovora were inserted into rice. In 2006, Steen et al. Does a study for India and finds that the newer GR, which is golden rice 2, would reduce the burden of vitamin A deficiency in India by 5 to 54%, depending upon assumptions about absorption and how to consume it. Although some beta carotene is destroyed during cooking and not all it is absorbed into the body, the level of beta carotene in golden rice 2 is comfortably enough to prevent vitamin A deficiency in people eating ordinary amount of rice. Now we talk about enhancement of iron content through genetically modified studies. So iron deficiency is the most widespread micronutrient deficiency worldwide, affecting an estimate one-third of the world's population and causing 0.8 million deaths annually worldwide. Anemia caused by iron deficiency triggers serious disorders such as abortion, brain damage, infants increased susceptibility to infections. Rice is a poor source of most of many essential micronutrients, especially iron and zinc for human nutrition. According to the World Health Organization 2010, approximately 2 billion people suffer from iron deficiency. Rice actually has a lot of iron, but only in the seed coat, because unpeeled rice quickly become rancid. In tropical and subtropical climates, the seed is removed for storage. A major cause is the poor absorption of iron from cereals and legume-based diet high in phytic acid. In 1999, Goto et al. Generated transgenic rice plant that expressed the soybean ferritin gene, which is SOFR H1 in the endosperm, using the endosperm specific 1.3 kb gluv1 rice promoter. The transformants showed higher Fe accumulation in brown rice seeds. Q et al. In 2005 expressed SOFR H1 under the control of both the OSGLB1 promoter and 1.3 kb gluv1 promoter to further increase seed iron content. But enhancement of ferritin expression did not produce further increase in seed iron content. Therefore, in addition to increased iron storage in seeds, enhanced iron uptake from the soil and enhanced translocation within the plant body were thought to be required to further improve iron biofortification in seeds. In 2003, Takashaki et al. Produces Na-deficient transgenic tobacco plants that showed young leaves with serious chlorosis and iron and zinc concentration in the leaves and flower decreases as a result of disruption internal metal transport. Enhancement of iron flux into the endosperm occurs by expression of iron Na-transporter gene, which is OSYSL2. In 2004, Koike et al. Identified the rice
NAFE transporter gene OSYSL2, which is preferentially expressed in leaf phloem cells. The vascular bundle of flowers and developing seeds suggested a role in internal iron transport. In an important research, Masuda et al. 2012 developed rice with enhanced iron in seeds by all the three approaches, which is ferritin expression, increasing iron transportation by expressing NAS gene, and iron flux into the endosperm by expression iron Na transporter gene OSL2. So students, let's summarize what we have learned from this module. Biofortification has helped many crops to improve quality, which help the growing population with the nutritional value. The crops are being commercialized, thus ensuring availability of nutritional value in a staple crop. To achieve the goal of providing crops with additional health benefit on a global scale, much work is required and will involve interaction between many disciplines, including plant breeders, molecular biologists, nutritionists, and even social scientists. Research and development of nutritionally enhanced orphan crops like sorghum, millets, pigeon pea, which are important to the world's poor but overlooked by the industrialized countries, must also be implemented. Thank you.